preparing for a future that I wanna see. There's no one else I'd rather share this with. Nobody knows my imperfections quite as perfectly. You guessed it, it is you that I'm thinking of when we're apart. You're my searchlight when I'm in the dark. It is true. I'd give it all, I'd give my heart. You're my searchlight when I'm in the dark, when I'm in the dark.
this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, and tonight we are wrapping up round 2 of our Rocket League Summer Invitational. But before we get to our bracket stage, we have a tiebreaker, so we gotta clean some things up. The Lynx and the Barracudas face it off. Barracudas have dropped from the 4th seed will end up dropping from the 4th seed if they lose. We'll have to see how that works out, though. I'm your host, Artie Nerdy Bird Rain, and joining me on desk to call all of the action is Joe Tacky Chigbrow. All right, Lynx and Barracudas. Lynx have had their moments. They've been very strong in the last couple of weeks. I think they've lost 1, maybe 2 games in total. Go multiple matches in a row without going undefeated, and then we'll end up losing at the end. So I put those losses to exhaustion. So today they get to start out fresh and clean and new, so to speak, if they took showers, going against the Barracudas. How do you think this is going to work out for them?
Gosh, I think it's going to be quite the battle, to say the least. Barracudas are definitely not a team that we've seen in the past falter too often. But that being said, like you said, the Lynx have been pretty consistent lately. I'm excited to see what they bring to the table, if they're going to adapt their playstyle at all, or if they're going to kind of stick to what's been working for them. You have to ask, with those devastating losses here and there, if they are going to make adjustments, or if they're kind of stick to perfecting the strategy they've been working on for the rest of the season.
Well, if Coach Jake actually heeded my words of advice and got in their ears over the course of the last week, let's hope we don't see them overcommit, over-rotate, and 3-commit onto goal-scoring opportunities, resulting in a complete breakaway play for the other side and resulting in them dropping the game, which is exactly their Achilles heel from last week that made them lose their undefeated streak. If you are new to Rocket League or need a refresher in general, here's how it works out for Esports Tower. It's 3v3 soccer, best of 5, round robin, single elimination, and then golden goal and sudden death. So if the score is tied and we have run out of that 5-minute timer, we will hop into a sudden death round where the first one to score a goal wins. And you can see our bracket: Scorpions, Vipers, Lynx, Barracudas. So Lynx and Barracudas currently tied before we go into our bracket stage. That's really going to determine our seeding going into next week. Scorpions and Vipers, we'll have to see how that one shakes out. I'm not going to ask you to place bets because I feel like your heart might be broken with some of these teams, because some of your steadfast go-tos have been struggling in the past couple of weeks. I know that you have been absent and taking care of some stuff, but yeah, unfortunately, your Vipers aren't doing as good as they have in the past, so I'm going to break that news to you now. But I blame that on the roster quote-unquote shakeups that occurred that did not really occur. I'm looking at you, Lynx squad.
Yeah, well, regardless of what's happening with the Vipers or any of the other teams that we've seen rise to power, it's fair to say that regardless, the teams that are here now definitely deserve it.
Most definitely.
And that's part of the kind of growing process, is having moments where things aren't working out the way you might want it to. So I'm excited to see what these teams have brought to the table that is good enough to bring down the Vipers that I saw last time I was here, which is very, very powerful team and a very dangerous team to give too much space on the middle end of the pitch.
Most definitely. I can't believe you just used that word. I cannot believe.
Which word?
Pitch, because that was one that cropped up in last week's broadcast that both Jem and I attributed to Dave being involved with this, because Dave lives in Wales. He is one of the people that work for Esports Tower. And that is not typically a term you use when referring to, AstroTurf. But at the end of the day, I'm an uncultured heathen who just lives in Idaho and is from Washington. So that's how I talk. It's a field at the end of the day. But with that being said, we want everyone to have some keys of advice from Doc Haskell, and those are going to be coming from Esports Tower. Those keys to the game are: create mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo to disrupt. Score pro advice at esportstower.com, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Those are Doc's keys to the game, but for everyone that's currently watching on Twitch, we want to make sure that all of you support your team, celebrate their successes, and be respectful to the other fans. Mod will remove anyone who violate these chat rules. After all, you never know who's actually watching that chat and who is playing moderator for the day. Sometimes it's me when I'm not on desk, and sometimes it could be the one and only Doc Haskell. So watch your language. Make sure you're being nice to one another, because at the end of the day, we're all just human beings, right?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so our first match, as we mentioned, we've already alluded to, is going to be very exciting. Lynx taking on the Barracudas for a tiebreaker. This is... I'm not trying to put pressure on anyone here, but when you're at a tiebreaker before we go into official bracket layout, it's really important that you come out on top, because this determines whether or not you are going to be having an easier first game and going into a bracket series, or a harder one. So best of luck to both these teams. Lynx, I really hope you clean up those overcommits before we jump into this first 5 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing some clean Rocket League, especially in the middle end of the field. We've seen that be kind of the make or break for a lot of teams, is how much they're actually pressuring that end. Are they letting them get too much space, or are they making it too easy for them to get out of their defensive end? And I'm excited to see if they are going to kind of adapt to it or focus more on those passing plays.
I can definitely tell you the Lynx are very good at making sure that they have that midfield control, but that midfield control comes with the caveat of them being at the mid and then all pushing into the back third of the other team's side of the field, as opposed to making sure that someone stays at the mid. We'll have to see how this works out here for them, as we have Cran dunk the ball down, but it goes to Thrift, who leaves it, I believe, to go to a drift. Shot off the backboard's going to be thwarted and taken away. Ball still in the back third of Barracuda territory. Jumps over Cran, but then Quez is there to be the saving grace and pulling it into the corner. Plays around a drift at the mid. We're going to have Wild push up, try to challenge Greed now in the back third of Lynx territory.
Wild's trying to push it out. It's not able to do anything else, so Cran will push out. Quez gets the pass off of Cran, and a mistake on the defensive end from the Lynx will lead the Barracudas to take the first goal in this best of 5.
Going into the kickoff, we have Cran once again getting the first touch off the wall. Shot to Quez, hits the top crossbar. Angle was just a little bit too high. Greed tried to go for the reset. Quez, unfortunately, just could not get the angle to chip the ball in. Greed goes for the top crossbar yet again. Too high of a shot on goal. Ball at the mid. Quez has a little pressure being put on them from Thrift. Ball shot into the midfield where a drift is going to try and corral it. They have a little bit of time, but took too many touches, so Greed's going to take it away now in the back third of Lynx territory. Wilds will be the saving grace, sending the ball back to the mid.
Quez keeps pressure to pass down the Wilds, will give them a little bit of space, but Cran will take the shot in open net. A bad clear will lead to another opportunity for the Barracudas, putting them up 2-0 in a comfortable position in a safety spot heading into these 4 minutes left in the game. And now the pressure is on the Lynx to get out of their end and keep the pressure on. Otherwise, the Barracudas are going to run away with this game.
2-goal lead very early on can either mean that scoreline is just going to run away in favor of the Barracudas, or from now we're going to hit a stalemate where the Lynx just struggle to find and try to find extra goals. Thrift is going to find the first one for the Lynx as I'm mentioning that. 2-goal lead early on, difficult to maintain because we have more than half of this first game still remaining as we go to this next kickoff.
Pressure is now converting. The Lynx are keeping control in the midfield. A pass from a drift to Thrift will be cut off by Quez. Takes it downfield on his own, but Wilds will be in the way. The block will go mid. Greed has an opportunity to shoot. He does not quite get past the drift, so now Cran is up. The block goes out to the corner, and nothing else can be done. Thrift looks for the clear past Quez.
Thrift has 2 members of the Barracudas putting pressure on them. Ultimately, it's going to be Quez who ends up getting a few touches on the ball, but can't get it past midfield as Thrift stops it. Double commit between Greed and Quez will allow the ball to finally find its way back into the corner in Lynx territory. Shot on goal. Double commit. 2 defenders inside the goal box. Not punished immediately. No one got demoed, but they were pushed around quite a bit. Barracuda still only up by 1. Ball is in Lynx territory.
Greed shot over to a drift. Blocks is in the way. Cran will take a bad 50-50. He'll shoot all the way down his end. Now Greed has to play defense for a little bit. Wilds is up to get the pass out mid. A drift takes the shot, but Quez is in the way. The double commit from Barracudas could prove disastrous, but Cran is able to stall and get out in time.
Ball is in the corner. Greed has double pressure on them. It's going to just skirt right in front of the goal. No angle needed there for the Lynx. Thankfully, they didn't take any touches. Could have been disastrous. Popped up in the back corner. Still in Lynx territory. Ball is high in the air. Thrift and Quez go for the challenge. Quez gets a beautiful dunk down, but the angle was just not quite right, and there was no follow-up from his teammates. Ball a crossing midfield stripe. Greed's going to elevate to stop Wild's assault onto their goal, but the overcommit again. Quez with the breakaway play. We see the Barracudas find their 3rd goal, up by 2. 2 minutes, 6 seconds left.
Midfield control in favor of the Barracudas, and it's paying dividends for them right now. Cran now tasked with getting it towards the middle end of the field or going for a shot of his own. He goes for the flip reset, gets the tap, but does not get past Wilds. Not strong enough. Thrift begs it downfield. Quez is up. Greed is also up. A double commit. It could be open. A drift takes the shot, but it's wide. Thrift will go for the shot himself and is unable to get it. Now Cran looks for the banger clear downfield. Wilds is up. Barely gets it out in time. A drift takes the shot, but is blocked by his own teammate Thrift. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication, and now the ball will pitch out towards the Barracudas' defensive end.
Cran tries to go for it, is not going to be able to get a touch. A drift did not either. Ball's kind of rolling around lazily in the corner. Double commit between Lynx members means no one's available for the center pass. Instead, they're going to go for the demo. A drift tries to elevate, loses possession. All 3 members of the Barracudas currently bunched up, looking for a breakaway opportunity. Quez finds it, gets it around 1. Pinch play off of Quez results in a drift managing to elevate, sending the ball back into the corner. Reset, crossing midfield stripe, but Cran is rotated back to make the save.
Drift up, misses the block. A drift gets the pinch out mid. Wilds takes the shot. It's no one is home. Greed barely unable to make contact. The Lynx will continue to battle for their spot in this game. Only a 3-2 dividend at 1 minute definitely plenty of time. Adrift gets early pressure, but is blocked by Quez. The pinch could go in. It's a little wide. Wild's unable to salvage. And the Barracudas breathe a sigh of relief now as they're edging to get out of their end.
With 54 seconds left on the clock, this is dangerous territory for the Lynx. They've been here before. This is where they start trying to overcompensate for their lack of one goal for the equalizer and overcommit, but that was not an overcommit. That was just Greed doing what Greed does best and finding goal number 4 for the Barracudas, back in the safety position. In the lead by 1, plus a security goal means no buzzer beater opportunities. Now Lynx are struggling to claw back at a 2-goal deficit with 40 seconds on the clock.
Greed bangs downfield, possibly to Quez, who does just end up getting the bump with a pass out mid still. Wild off the back wall. Maybe give an opportunity to Adrift, who passes it over to Thrift. Just stalling here. This is not what they need. Time is not on their side. They need to get out of their end, but Cran's not letting them. Almost finds a goal of his own. Adrift can take it up the wall now off of a bump. Passes it out mid. No one's in the way. Greed misses. Thrift gets the block, an opportunity here, but Cran, they won the 50-50. It rolls in, and the Lynx are still in it. They have 11 seconds to find this tiebreaker. Otherwise, it will be left in the dust going into game 2.
I really hope we don't see anyone try to do anything flashy when that ball, when the timer hits 0 and attempt to get an extra goal for their side. I'm looking at you, Barracudas, because if you do that, you could open up the field to allow the Lynx to find an extra one themselves. We have no time left on the clock. It is now just ground the ball and call it good. Greed did look like they were trying to pass to Cran, but I'm going to say that was a dunk down to end the round. And with that, Barracudas walk away with the game 1 victory.
A very tight game, to say the least. The Lynx really wanted that win. I mean, I imagine they would, but you could really see the way they were battling at the midfield that they were really trying to make that work. But at the end of the day, Barracudas had more consistent defense. A lot of breakdowns in the midfield led to the Lynx falling behind early, and that's just something you have to avoid when you're faced with the threat of these esports towers teams.
We've seen in the past where the Lynx, they have a very strong performance early on. In this game, not in particular, they seem to struggle to find their foothold, but it is the first game of the day. They could have just been warming up. Very, very standard practice here at the Esports Tower to see a best of 5 quickly turn into a best of 3, as it just goes back and forth between the first 2 games. But that being said, I really don't want to see overcommitting to the extent of being overly aggressive that you're blocking opportunities from your teammates. We kind of did start seeing that from the Lynx as things broke down a little bit more after crossing that 2-minute 30-second mark. So I want more control, more teamwork, and not as much just putting the pedal to the metal.
Definitely have to agree with you there, Artie. The fundamentals are going to pay super well out this series, as the midline end seems to be the biggest killer for the Lynx. But if they focus on not panicking and just keeping control of the play and playing back when they need to, they should be fine. But the Barracudas, definitely not the fish you want to mess with right now.
Cran try to go for a beautiful carry into the goal, but they were disrupted by one of the Lynx defenders. A little bit slower action here happening, not as many 2-car pileups immediately. Cran in the corner is going to try and go for the center reset to a teammate, but instead it's going to end up with Wilds. It passes the ball forward, trying to get it to a drip. Thwarted. Now Quez goes for the shot, and it's nobody's home. That's goal number 1 for the Barracudas.
A fantastic redirect will put the Barracudas ahead again. They're feeling it right now, but they still have 4 minutes and 20 seconds to hold their lead. So Lynx have to feel not bad yet.
Greed goes for the challenge against Wilds. Wilds wins it cleanly, but now has to get it around Quez, who easily snags it off the wall, dragging it down past Adrift as well. Thrift's going to go for the challenge at the midfield. Instead's going to take out the challenger. They're going to be responded to by Cran, demoing 2 of the Lynx on their offensive assault here. Respawns have happened, but the reset needs to come out. Cran goes for the shot on goal. It's going to be too high and too slow. Wilds tries to ground it. Quez goes for the challenge. Ball hits midfield. Cran and Greed are first to be there, so Adrift has to back off and be ready for defense.
Quez will be in the way of this. Adrift tries to block, but is unable to, so Quez can follow up on the wall to himself. Gets a 3rd tap. Unable to do anything more with it. Bumps his own teammate. No, a miscommunication. No! Some greed from Quez there will lead to kind of a missed opportunity for the Barracudas, but they're definitely not out of it yet. They're still ahead. They just have to get those rotations back in line. Otherwise, Lynx are going to run away with it.
Had a beautiful tee-off play there from Cran's hood by one of their teammates. I want to say it was Greed, because Cran did not have any boost. They had no choice but to rotate back towards the defense position. Quest is going to come in, go to a great pinch off the ground, and their teammate yet again. Greed's going to try and come help out as there's a double defender commit onto Quez's pressure. Ball is going to be reset to the midfield. Thrift's going to be the first to get a touch on it. Quez tries to go for the redirect, but not enough momentum. Ball hits the top corner. That crossbar being nobody's friend, but was the saving grace for the Barracudas. They're maintaining their 1-goal lead as we're almost hitting that halfway mark.
Adrift barely misses the shot. Quez takes it up to himself. Past 1. Wilds will be able to block, however, Adrift maybe for the pass mid. Pass over to Thrift. Finds the backboard, but nobody home yet. Cran will be able to get it all the way out. Quez Now taking it downfield, has Greed to his right, is unable to do anything with it though, so Greed has to play back and force the backboard touch.
All three members of the Barracudas are getting corralled here in front of their own goal. They will not have the easiest opportunity to find a breakaway play if the Lynx maintain this much pressure. Greed, though, off the ground is going to play to round one. Does have Thrift come in and take the ball away for a few moments. Quez elevates, hits the ceiling with that ball. Wilds has a whip on their elevation line. Cran to come in. Can they get the redirect? They will! Absolutely beautiful for the Barracudas.
A nice double tap backboard read from the Barracudas will put them into that safety position that we discussed earlier. And now with only 2 minutes and about 10 seconds left on the clock, Lynx are starting to feel the pressure again. They have their work cut out for them. It's more than doable, but something has to change.
With the amount of time it's taken for these goals to find the back of the net, it means Lynx have made some adjustments, but now this is where I do say the 2-goal lead is the nail in the coffin for most teams. There isn't as much time left, and Quez is going to make that gap even longer, bringing them up to 3 goals, minute 53 seconds on the clock. It's a lot harder to counter a deficit when it's that large this late in the game. That's why the early 2-goal lead doesn't mean as much as it does once you've crossed that 2.5-minute mark, and the back half boost starts to kick in for some teams, and right now the Barracudas are receiving it in full force.
Quez going for another clip shot. Cran will pass out mid, stalled for a little bit. Greed is up and challenged by Thrift, who does get beat, so now Quez has to play defense a little bit, keeps it on their end just a little bit longer. Adrift passes it over to Cran, who gets the bang to the corner. Now looking for a pass out mid. Wild will clear it instead. Unable to do anything else, so the pass will go to Adrift, who then looks for Wild. The shot maybe, a little bit off. And the Lynx now have to recreate that pressure.
Ball is at the mid. Double commit between Greed and Quez results in a loss of possession for a few moments. Quez tries to rekindle that possession but can't. Wilds pushes it forward. Cran off the defensive back rotation, pushes the ball into the corner, has Greed try to corral it, can't. Quez will elevate, get demoed in mid-flight. Allowing Wilds to push forward to the midfield. Stripe challenge from Greed results in ball going right into the back third of Lynx territory again as they're struggling to find the chance to get a breakaway. Finally, Adrift will get it for the Lynx.
A spill out, past Thrift. Greed has an opportunity, pass it off the wall back to himself, takes the shot. Wilds is barely up. They're not safe yet. It's still in a dangerous position. Adrift crosses the field with it. Now Quez has a little bit of time. A massacre on the orange end of the field. A couple demos, maybe an opportunity here, maybe a getaway, but Adrift is barely able to get back off the respawn. Now Cran looking for the touch from Greed, but is unable to do anything else. Thrift passes it to Cran, who gets the shot towards the backboard, barely not in. Wilds finds the save at the very last moment, and now Barracudas having to reset, get boost, and try again at this next offensive push.
With 9 seconds left on the clock, this looks like a GG go next for the Lynx. Perhaps they can get one morality boost goal for themselves, but even if it's a buzzer beater, this is going to be a victory for the Barracudas. Quez, though, tries to find it, but the rules of the game still in place. Has to fully cross that goal line in order to result in one. So with that, Barracudas walk away with a Game 2 victory and a 3-0 sweep. Hello, everyone in the arena. Nice to see you all. Wow, I'm not sure if that is kind or if you're rooting for the Lynx. I'm going to say that you're rooting for the Lynx since they do typically have quite the fan squad when it comes to friends and family for them. However, right now, Barracudas are in our match point with 2 wins under their belt. It's best of 5. They only need 1 more. Do you think the Lynx can turn this one around?
The Lynx are in a do-or-die situation now. They have to win every game from here on out. I mean, no pressure, but there is pressure to some extent. If they're going to make this work, they have to do the reverse sweep. And honestly, unless something gets fixed that from the last 2 games we were saying is a big problem, I don't think they can do it. The Barracudas are looking very clean right now, and the Lynx just have too much work cut out for them. They need a really good pep talk from their coach Jake right now.
Yeah, and the only thing I can say at this point is probably something that a lot of people here have heard us say, which is, you know, treat it like it's game 1, treat it like it's 0-0. No one is winning, no one is losing. This is the brand new start, and honestly, I want to see more things. They're doing things with the purpose, which is what I ask for most of these esports tower players, but I want to see more communication. You can see communication breaking down on both sides when we see double, triple commits, people getting in the way of each other's passes or goal-scoring opportunities. So let's not be greedy. Let's focus on teamwork and good rotations going into this next game. Lynx, best of luck to you guys. You have a reverse sweep opportunity, but you have to play borderline perfect Rocket League for it to come out in your favor. The question is, can you do that? Well, these next 5 minutes are going to tell us.
Going into Game 3, the Barracudas still looking like a scary roster, but the Lynx have their path, have their kind of rep. So they're definitely not out of this yet. Wiles with a shot that will get blocked by Cran, so he gets to play it back to himself. Looks for the bang past one. Oh, they're tangled up on each other, going for boost on the side, and Wilds and Thrift will end up leading to the goal scored on them this early on, 13 seconds in.
Okay, but we've seen Thrift and Wilds both redeem themselves very fast off of situations like that. But that is when they try to go for solo plays. I don't know if that is something they can pull off against the Barracudas like they have done to teams in the past. And we have Greed finding goal number 2 for the Barracudas. That one was well deserved. There was no mishap on the side of the Lynx.
A good passing play and a great shot by Greed into that top corner. So difficult to save. I have to say that every time they get the top corner shot. Those are so difficult to get behind. But, oh, Adrift gets one of his own off of a pass and a miss from the Barracudas. There's that little shining opportunity for the Lynx will allow them to keep themselves in the game, but not ahead quite yet. Greed looking to extend his lead once more, but Thrift will be in the way. Cran can maybe follow up the ball, taking his time. Does beat out Adrift. Wild pass it off the backboard to Thrift, who's unable to do anything else. This is a dangerous position, but Quez is all the way back, so it's a little bit diffused. Quez takes the shot off the backboard. Thrift gets the read, and now Lynx in control of the play so far, but end up passing it right back to the Barracudas.
I feel as though the Lynx tend to overcompensate when it comes to trying to make sure that they're not overcommitting on goal-scoring opportunities. You either get all or nothing when it comes to the squad. That's everyone in defensive positioning or everyone in offensive positioning. You need to have more faith and trust in one another, as these players, all three of them play together so much. They should know each other's basic mechanics and how they play, and use that to benefit one another, like Thrift and Adrift are trying to do right now. Adrift's going to have pressure put on them. Thrift is going to actually get demoed, so they're going to be waiting on the respawn screen. Greed pushing forward, just has to play it around one defender. Is going to choose to pop it up for Quez, but Quez's shot is too wide.
Barracudas falling back a little bit now. Wilds looking for a solo play. Cran is up and misses, but Quez is in the way. Does find a solo play from all the way on the other end of the field, and will put the Barracudas even further ahead with 3 minutes, 21 seconds left on the clock. It's still looking like kind of the same games we saw before, Artie.
I won't argue with you on that, but I mean, a 2-goal deficit, 3 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock is doable, and this is a different story than we saw earlier, so the Lynx do have points to their name already. However, they're struggling to find breakaway opportunities when they're in these defensive positions. Yes, we have demos coming out, but typically the demos are coming out from Adrift onto the enemy team, but right now Adrift and Thrift are getting demoed back to back multiple times. Cran's shot on goal as nobody else is there to beat them. That's goal number 4 for the Barracudas.
Yeah, 3 minutes left, 3 goals to score for the Lynx, more than doable. We've seen crazier comebacks, but that's going to require the Barracudas to calm it down a little bit. And I don't think they are. I think they're wanting to get on to the next series at this point. Quez looks for a pass out mid to Greed, who is there, but doesn't get that great of a touch. Wilds will hit it off the wall back to himself. A good clear out. Thrift is maybe able to follow, but Cran is in the way. An opportunity here for Quez. Maybe goes for the solo play. Looks like an air dribble. Goes for the flip reset instead. Oh, almost plays it past all 3 of them. Cran takes the shot off the sidewall. Is not good. Wild will take it down the field. Quez has to be in the way, but he's unable to. The far corner snipe. The Barracudas caught overextended. We are back to that 4-2 scoreline that we knew all too well from the first game.
Stop overextending, please. That is such a simple thing to fix. Communicate, make sure your rotations are clean. I do not want to see a game lost just due to a basic mechanical mistake being made by players time and time again. Ball's going to hit the ceiling, awkward ricochet. No one's home for the Barracudas. And now the Lynx are in 1-goal territory to equalize this out with 2 minutes and 9 seconds on the clock.
And as previously mentioned, it's more than doable for the Lynx, but it's going to require the Barracudas breaking down, and they look like they are. An overextension and then followed by a whiff will lead to an opportunity for them to maybe get to an even scoreline again. Quez looking to reschedule here with Cran. Cran gets the 50-50. Thrift is in the way. Wilds will end up beating out both, however. Quez beats it out, is mid. Greed gets a touch, but it's not a great one. Pass it over to the corner. Cran can make the next touch, and it'll just go down to Adrift. Greed up to take the shot, is unable to make contact. Now Adrift will just push it right back downfield.
Quez has a double commit, plays it around both of them, stalling the ball out, popping it up. Cran's going to rotate forward. Greed at the mid, sends it to Cran. The Wilds will elevate first. All 3 members of the Lynx bunched up here looking for an opportunity. We're going to have Greed have to allay the demo there coming out from Wilds. Knowing that Wilds was intending on doing so, Cran stalling ball out at the midfield, has Quez to go to. Quez has to pop it up over Thrift. It sails over Thrift's elevation. Now the Barracudas are back in the lead by 2.
A battle to say the least, and just if the Lynx were up by 1 more goal, this would be much closer, but seems like the back and forth goals are not in their favor due to the 2-0 lead going against them early on. And a double commit from a panicked opportunity from the Barracudas will lead to no goal being scored at all instead of just playing patiently. Now Quez looks for yet another solo play. He's feeling it tonight. Goes for the flip reset down the green, but is unable to do anything else. Adrift looking for the redirect out mid. Does get the pass over to Thrift, and a banger shot will find the back of the net. 5-4, 1 minute left on the clock-ish. And now the Lynx can't give up any more goals. They have, the time is working against them a lot faster than you might think.
Ball is at the mid, but there's no pressure from the Barracudas, so it's going to be an easy elevation for Thrift. He tries to dunk it down to Wilds. Wilds and Adrift are both pushed up in an awkward situation. Adrift tries to push the ball across over to the other side of the field. We have Wilds demo one of the Barracudas, meaning that this offensive opportunity is now stopped and shut down. 30 seconds for the Lynx to find goal number 5 and send us into overtime. Can they prevent the Barracudas, though, as the Barracudas are in the back third, already going for the reset instead of leaving their goal open. Reed tries to go for a Hail Mary shot. It's going to be saved by Wilds.
Wilds slow playing it, using all the time he's got, but he doesn't have a ton of time. Some demos out. A bloodbath on the blue end will not lead to a goal for the Lynx. The time is no longer in their favor. 4 seconds left to defend the net. Greed tries to be in the way. Quez will end up saving it instead, and now the ball rolls up the wall. This is not looking good. Wilds has to keep it up. Cran just has to get in the way. Adrift misses, and that will end the series. A 3-0 sweep in favor of the Barracudas. A well-fought game at the end, to say the least, but definitely could have been a lot closer if the Lynx had figured out their defense a little earlier on.
You really cannot spend 15 minutes warming up. That's something that needs to happen before your match even starts, and it really felt like the Lynx were trying to get a foothold for those first 2 games, and by the time they found it in game number 3, it was just too gosh darn late.
Yeah, definitely something clicked a little bit more towards the end, but those first 2 minutes, it felt like, for both the Barracudas and the Lynx, kind of felt like they were run by the Barracudas in all 3 games, and at that point, you have to go back to the drawing board a little bit. Did we not warm up well enough? Were they just outplaying us with their pressure early? What was it exactly that led to those decisions ending up the way they did?
I really think it comes down to communication and team play. That was the Achilles heel for the Lynx. They're used to being able to, really is Thrift and Wilds that are a dynamic duo, with Adrift kind of looping in there as being the powerhouse demo demolition expert and just taking people out and rotating back when needed. But that rotation back is not happening fast enough more often than not, and that's resulted in the games that they have lost thus far, and again against the Barracudas. And then just getting too greedy on goal-scoring opportunities as a whole. We have double commits, triple commits, and then overcommitting in general, resulting in breakaways for the enemy team. So gotta really clean up those opportunities and stop playing greedy. I understand the other person on the other team's name is greed, but it doesn't mean you need to also pick that play style up. But really, it's a team game, and you need to focus on the fact that there is 2 other people on that field with you.
Yeah, that at least. And part of that not passing and working together really translated into their midfield. You saw they tried to get these boomer clears several times to get out of their end. It just wasn't working. Cran especially, but Cran and Greed were in the way constantly. They were getting up for those high clears, and they were banging it right back towards their end. They don't really have to get that great of a touch. They just have to keep pressure. So if you're not working together and passing to each other, it's going to be a nightmare to get out of your end.
Most definitely. Well, that's the end of our first tiebreaker. I do believe that's the only one we have, but we still have more games left before we jump into our bracket stage. However, before we do that, we will take a quick break, I believe, is what I just got to hear from production. I'm a little deaf right now and a little blind because I don't have my glasses on. Yeah, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.
Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at count.com.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League, broadcasting from the Boise State Esports Arena. It's time to kick off the bracket stage of our Round 2 Summer Invitational. Can the Scorpions win back-to-back tournaments? Well, we're going to find out. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Joe Tacky Chigbrow to call all of the action for you tonight. And before I jumped in, you and Nerdy were watching the tiebreaker game. So what really stood out to you in terms of the two teams that you saw fighting it out?
They both made some similar mistakes here and there, but what stood out to me the most is the aggression. To a fault and to an avail a lot of the time, the Barracudas were able to catch up with that aggression a little bit more through just generally understanding how to bubble around midfield, make it hard for them to get out of their end. But at the end of the day, their aggression also led to a couple times where they were overextended, and there were some easy low rollers that just kind of went in with no one there to get in the way.
Yeah, it's a ton of story we've seen time and time again. Rotate too far up the field, get your open goal scored on. But there's a lot of great performance that is on showcase here tonight, and because of that great performance, a lot of these players have gotten scholarships, and we want to take a moment to congratulate all of the Esports Tower Club members who have graduated from the clubs and been offered scholarships across the country over the last 3 months. Esports Tower members have received over $3.1 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. These students are hardworking, driven, and we could not be more excited and proud to see all the opportunities these players are giving. And for the players in the tournament currently, to help them perform at their very best, we have Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League presented by Esports Tower, and that's going to be to create mistakes, punish overcommits, play off the walls better, and demo to disrupt. It's brought to you by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. So with the tiebreaker match we saw earlier wrapping up, now we move into the semifinals of this tournament. We'll have 2 semifinals, and then we'll see the finals to see who wins this tournament. It's going to be Scorpions versus Vipers on deck.
Yeah, definitely excited to see what they've got. We haven't seen either of them today, but the Scorpions, definitely not a team we've seen a lot of, I feel like, in the past in terms of these final echelon teams. But it's exciting to see some names pop up in a more aggressive light this time, to see some teams just evolve a little bit more.
And if the summer season has been anything to judge by, the Scorpions really have been sleepers because they have just sprung up. Even though you might not notice them at first, they sprung up to have a perfect record in the group stage. We can see their players right there. Gababy, Nano, and Protato going up against Toke, Enzo, and Z-Hydra. So will the Scorpions be able to continue their perfect record in the group stage? They won the grand finals in round 1 and are looking to be back-to-back champs in round 2 of the Summer Invitational. So we're going to jump right into the first game here as soon as we can. Once again, Scorpions versus Vipers, first semifinals of this Week 2 championship. Let's jump into it and see what these players can offer as we drive out of the garage toward the stadium of adoring fans, and actually toward the train station, I should say, as I always like starting out on Grand Central. It's just, I love it so much more than the default stadium, so already I'm in a good mood for today.
All 6 players on this field right now are pretty well-known players in terms of Esports Tower. Very, very well-developed players with lots of mechanical skill and lots of rotational skill around them. I'm excited to see what kind of fireworks we see regardless. And now, right off the bat, we have a lot of pressure in favor of the Scorpions. Hydra has to play some last-minute defense to try to keep it out. Unable to do anything else, however, so Protato will push it out a little bit further, looks for the pass out mid, is unable to do anything else, so Nano will barely be out of the way, and now Baby is forced to play defense, but they end up just leaving open, and Zydra shoots into his own net off of a poor redirect, and the Vipers, I believe, will fall behind in this first minute.
And Scorpions in a very familiar position that they're used to. It might be equalized, though, off of the kickoff. Just going to be denied by Protato. He's going to bounce it off the wall. And now they're going to fight over side control in midfield. A demo is going to come out into midfield as well. Looks like that was on the Vipers. But Enzo, despite the demo, is going to leave it for Toke. Quickly trying to tie it up. They're doing everything they can to try to get back to an even playing field. But so far, Scorpions have denied them.
Scorpions looking to keep pressure on, not give them a lot of space. Zydra will push it out, so Nano has to fall back a little bit. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication, but Baby is able to keep pressure a little bit longer. Potato Bang downfield to Baby, who looks for the pass out mid, but is unable to make contact, so Enzo will cut in the way, and now he looks for a shot of his own, almost in the back, but Nano is able to barely keep it out at the last moment. Toke passing it off the backboard, looks for an opportunity as Hydra finds a bump. No one's home to take the shot, some big miscommunication there, and an opportunity squandered to say the least, and now Potato has the opportunity to push it out.
Well, they're going to have to get more opportunities as we go forward here. About 2 minutes being burned off of the clock. Ever since that first shot on goal, the Scorpions getting that early lead, it has been all Vipers just pummeling 3 shots on goal toward the Scorpions, trying to make it 4 right now. Enzo and Toke are going to try to set it up. Again, looks like just a little bit of fumbling back and forth between who's going to leave it for who and trying to set up their plays. A bit of a bump there in front of the goal. Potato's going to head out to try to clear it. It gets denied, and the Vipers maintain their side control. But again, it just seems like kind of who's leaving it for who's trying to center it for who, is just not quite coming through, and that's really costing the Vipers opportunity to go. But here goes one, and it's almost going to find it, but Potato just barely finding the save.
Baby will push up, Potato behind him, playing defense a little longer. Enzo looking to stall a little bit, does pass it out mid, but Nano is able to take the shot first. Toke kind of caught flat-footed, will lead to Baby finding a nice shot, a good pounce from a slow reaction from the Vipers defense, and now the Scorpions will pull ahead 2 goals with about half a game left to play.
It's really got to sting for the Vipers, who have been fighting so hard just to get shots on goals, to be denied every time. And then for the one time the Scorpions managed to clear it, they score a goal. So now it's 2 minutes left to make up a 2-goal deficit. But Nano's going to try to make it 3 goals here, moving it, and it's going to be stopped by Enzo in front of the goal. But now Potato keeping the play going to center it up to Gababy and finds it. Gababy is just on fire right now, finding a hat trick.
Gababy, we've seen over and over again, has been kind of the offensive prowess of every team he's been on. He's a very powerful and consistent offensive player. He doesn't go for those crazy shots too often, but he's really good at getting there fast and finding the surgical holes in the enemy defense. And now we're seeing it pay dividends for the Scorpions roster as he's found his hat trick in this series. Maybe looking for a 4th one off a pass here pretty soon, but the pressure will transfer in favor of Enzo.
Demo in favor of Scorpions' goal. A little bit of fumbling by Enzo gives a bit of time for the Scorpions to recover, and Nano shoots it way back toward the Vipers' goal. Gababy is just waiting in the wings here for his shot, trying to set up something that's just a bit awkward. He had the boost if he wanted to make a shot, but just looked like he might have been setting it up for a teammate there. I'm not too sure. But nonetheless, it gives the Vipers enough time to clear and shoot on goal, but it's just off of the front post. And now it's going to be cleared back by Scorpions, who try to score in the open goal. Nano almost finds it, but fumbles at the last moment. Scorpions still in a 3-0 lead.
Baby up to keep the pressure. Sidra playing a little farther back, is barely able to get the save, and now Gababy is trying to beat him out on the wall, gets the pass up mid, maybe looking for a solo play, leaves it instead. Potato will take the shot, and finally Gababy giving some room in the spotlight for his teammates. Potato finding a great shot off of a pass from Gababy, a good teamwork all around to lead to a 4-0 lead, and the Vipers just not getting a stranglehold on this game yet at all.
Now with 40 seconds left, 10 seconds per goal, just about almost impossible. We have seen great rallies before, but with that final goal, the whistle is going to blow, the bell is going to ring, and I am afraid it is the bell tolling for the Vipers, as they are going to have to give up this first game, go to the next one. Not going to be able to make up a deficit that large in just 30 seconds. May be able to get a goal for themselves, though, to feel a little bit better, and you can't underestimate those either.
Some nice pressure to swing back in their direction. Hopefully the game ends that way for them. That way they have that good vibe heading into game 2, but I doubt, honestly, at this point that this game is going any other direction than in favor of the Scorpions.
No, I don't think. I think the Scorpions might just be the team to try to deflate any sort of that good feelings here. As you see, Gababy almost gets a shot. Potato again, and just a bit of a save from Toke is going to keep it at a 5-1. Maybe they're going to try to make it 5-2, but I don't see it happening there. And that's going to be the first game won by the Scorpions. Again, the undefeated team for the group stage. Just doing completely, almost perfectly, almost shutting out the Vipers entirely. And boy, I just have to say, I think the difference there was just the dependability of the teammates of being able to drive it home, the follow-ups on the shots on goal. It seems to be like Gababy is really fulfilling that role for the Scorpions, whereas the Vipers, they haven't found that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they had a lot of pressure that game, as you had mentioned kind of early on, but I think what ends up being their big issue is the quality of pressure. I think, like I said before, Gababy being that offensive guy for the Scorpions combined with good passing makes it really easy for them to find these quality passing plays and shots to go with it together rather than just a good pass followed by an okay shot or an okay pass followed by a good shot. Kind of all the pieces come together for offense for the Scorpions. So if they really want to find a way to break down that Scorpions defense, they have to do a better job of making their shots quality.
Yeah, and it just seems also that the Vipers are just, there are too many times where I'm trying to ask myself, okay, well, who's it intended to go there? Was that to Toke or was that trying to be to Enzo? There's just a little bit too much of that confusion going on for the Vipers that I can really see what they were intending to do. But like you said, they are good at putting on some pressure, getting some side control. So getting at least one goal in that first game can prove to themselves they can move forward here, hopefully turn things around as we're ready to head into game number 2 of this first semifinal. Vipers with the Scorpions. Scorpions lead 1. Here we go into the first kickoff. Toke is going to take it out. That could be huge there right off the kickoff. It's just going to bounce off the post, and Vipers almost had such a good opening. They might get scored on also, but Enzo is able to rotate back at just the right moment. Potato on the defense finds the save. Toke meeting it in midfield. Is he going to be able to center it up, or are they just going to have to leave that while they wait for some more time? Potato's going to try to score, flip it up and over, but isn't going to find it against Enzo.
Gababy tries to pass out mid, passes over to Enzo instead, who slow plays it. Has a little bit of time. Potato is in the way, however. Ball spills out to Nano, passes it to himself, looks for the pass to Potato, who then goes out mid. Potato gets a bump. No one is there, however, so no goal left to score. Zydra. The bang downfield will convert the pressure, and Gababy is not giving it to him. Carries it down the field, only has one in front of him. Maybe looks for the slide shot, is not able to get it. It rolls up the wall, and Enzo will now have to play it into the corner and away from the enemy offense.
Gababy with a nice little steal there to try to keep it in midfield and trying to clear it, but the Vipers aren't going to let it go across the midfield line too much. In fact, they're going to get back this pressure. Now it's a question of what Toke decides to do here. He's going to answer Potato, send it back over to midfield, but that's where Gababy was waiting and scores. And once again, the Scorpions find themselves in an early lead.
Gababy being the front runner of that lead once again. Now leaves it out for Nano. Drops it down to Toke, looks for the corner touch. Nano gets a pass out mid. Enzo doesn't make contact. That was scary for a moment there. Now Zydra has a little bit of space, but is beat out by Gababy. Another scary opportunity here, but Enzo's barely able to get in the way. A redemption to say the least, and now pressure is still on. Nano looking for the pass out mid. It does go mid off of 50-50. Potato takes the shot. It's low and it's slow, so Enzo will be in the way. He looks for a flick here, probably on his own, but is beaten out by Gababy. And Nano will now try to keep pressure a little bit longer, but is unable to do anything else, so now kind of stuck in an awkward spot, battling it out at midfield. No one has all the pressure yet.
Nano just stealing it away from Enzo, winning that 50-50 in the air, and is going to get the side control back for the Scorpions. Centering going through for Potato, or just a shot on goal. Enzo has to elevate up and stop it, although the crossbar probably would have gotten it there, but better safe than sorry. Here goes Gababy again. Going to play under Enzo, under Z. Hydra sets it up again. One is waiting, and Potato shoots on goal, but isn't able to find. But still, the acrobatics from the Scorpions are just running circles around the Vipers.
We've kind of seen a change. Last game, we saw a lot of pressure in favor of the Vipers, but this time the Scorpions are continuing their pressure rather than just finding the one shot and leaving. Now, Gababy looking for that opportunity. Toke is tasked with getting it out, but is unable to do anything else, so Potato will pass it back out mid. Zydra passes it back out. Nano looks for the backboard touch, follows it himself, but is unable to make contact. Gababy passing it mid again. Potato taking it slow, hops it up past one. Zydra has to be in the way. He is in the way, but it'll pass down to Gababy, who's barely blocked to the last minute by Toke. Enzo has to get it out, does get past one, and has a little bit of space. Beats the next on the 50-50, and now pressure's finally in favor of the Vipers, breathing a sigh of relief as they look for their own goal.
Scorpions looking to find their clear, a situation they haven't been too familiar with this game. A bit of a bump in front of the goal there. Now Gababy takes it and tears away with it. Not if Z Hydra is going to steal it away from him. Nano's waiting in the goal. Plays it around him. Ball is high and it's going to be punted right over toward the corner where they're fighting over the boost, and Enzo and Potato manages to get the final tap on that one and drive it back toward midfield. Nano sees his shot, gets it, and Scorpions go to 2-0.
Nano will get his first goal for the series, but definitely hasn't been out of the picture. Been a pretty big opportunity for him every time on the midfield end. Potato looking for his own play, pass it over to Nano, maybe looking for another for Nano, but barely unable to do anything else. Potato will just keep it up a little longer. Gababy will take it himself. Zydra is in the way, however, but Potato finds an open net. Oh no, a disaster situation, a misplay in the midfield from the Vipers, passing it out, but to no one. And so the Scorpions will jump on that. Way too much aggression in that team to give them that kind of opportunity.
And this is what the coaches have been telling us about the Scorpions, is that they're really a team that it seems they start good and only get better as the tournament goes on. Not only did they win the tournament last week, but in this week they're outperforming their victory last week by not dropping a single game in the group stage. And even now, just in this game, only allowing one goal through for the Vipers as they almost drive it to 4-0. They are relentless right now in their pursuit, and another scored by Potato.
An excellent angled shot to the top corner from Potato will put them up even further. 4-0 with less than a minute on the clock. This is another one that anything is possible, but this one looks pretty doomed to me. And I gotta say, I didn't know that they were completely undefeated in terms of games. They weren't just undefeated in terms of series, they're undefeated in terms of games.
In the group stage for this week's tournament, they haven't lost a single game. And it looks like going into the semifinals, that might be the case too, unless the Vipers are able to pull off one heck of a reverse sweep going forward. We're just going to see how they happen. Maybe getting one sort of goal here can stop them. But, of course, Nano is not going to let them feel good about anything, deflecting that, giving the Scorpions a bit of time to just run out the timer here. The baby is going to set up in front of the goal. Going to be stopped by Potato, grounded midfield. Toke going for one last shot, but it's not enough. And that is going to put the Scorpions up to 2-0. For this, and you really got to feel for the Vipers, because the Vipers, the coaches tell us they've been putting in as much time as they can between rumbles. It's like if there's a scrim available, the Vipers are taking it. They want to try to improve as much as they can here, and they thought they would match up well against the Scorpions. It's just you really got to feel for a team that's trying to put in so much practice to get better.
Yeah, I mean, definitely practice is something that will make perfect eventually, but at the bottom line, there are still people that are going to be ahead of you on some stuff. I'm sure the Scorpions put on just as much work, if not more. It's hard to tell with these esports tower teams, but what I do know is that every loss, you have a lot more to learn and get better with than when you're winning a lot of the time. So if they're looking to just get better, even losing these games right now is not the end of the world. It just gives them more stuff to work on and look at and improve.
Yeah, and maybe they can improve in the middle of this match, too. They have one more opportunity to try to turn things around and drive it at least to a Game 4. We're going to have to see how it turns out as we head into Game 3. Match point for the Scorpions, and in we go. First kickoff in the favor of Gababy, who had such a nice cheat there off of the initial kickoff, is going to get the side control for the Scorpions. Now Nano and Potato almost look like they might have double committed on there, but I think I spoke too soon. The Scorpions seem to have everything together, not really giving any sort of time for the Vipers to respond. We see a double commit there on the save, as Vipers are just scrambling to stop the Scorpions, who look like they have lost no momentum.
Oh, a weird touch could be an opportunity. A triple commit from the Scorpions.
Wow.
This is an opportunity, but a missed shot altogether. The quality of shots has to go up, Vipers. Otherwise, you are never going to get a chance at this game. Oh my goodness, Gababy now keeping pressure.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on for both teams there, but we've seen now double commits, triple commits all over the place. So I don't know what's happening for both teams, but they need to work out the kinks and fast, or else Toke is going to try to score like that. He's not going to find what he wanted, though. Now Zydra is going to try to center it. It goes over to Potato, who gets demoed. The clear still goes through.
Enzo taps it into his own corner, plays it slow, sees he has space. Nana will pinch it out for him, push it downfield. Potato, bad aerials, unable to make contact. It's double commit from Gababy and Nano. The communication breaking down a little bit. This is the kind of opportunities that the Vipers should be pouncing on, but they're just not able to do anything with it yet. Toke plays it around one in the corner, leaves it for Potato. Potato does beat him out. Nano has an opportunity, but Enzo's going to slow it down a little bit. Potato probably looks for the pass mid, ends up getting a weird touch. Now Baby will take a shot off of Enzo. They'll 50-50 out. Pressure is in favor of the Vipers. Maybe no, but net, but Potato finds the last-minute save off the corner, barely keeps it out, and will keep the scoreline at 0-0 at 3-minute marks.
Zydra passes across the field toward Enzo. Potato takes it away from him. Off to Baby, who plays off the wall. It's deflected toward midfield, but Baby sees his shot yet again, and Potato also working for him. That's a picture-perfect disruption to clear out the goal.
Potato just strong-arming the enemy defense out of the way. They said, you know what, you've saved too many of our shots this game. You are going to give us a goal, and you're going to give it to us right now. And now Nano is looking to keep that pressure, make them feel uncomfortable, make them feel like they're suffocating in their own end. But so far, the Vipers are holding on to this game a little bit harder than they have in the past. We'll have to see if there's any changes that can be made to keep that going in their favor.
Slight tap from Enzo, double tap actually off the wall. He's just playing it up the field gradually as the rest of the Scorpions chase after him. Potato now on a pretty open goal here. Only Toke is there. Right on the front post now, tries to go forward. Zydra is rotated in behind him. Try to find the clear. Baby plays it over him. A lot of stumbling from the Vipers so far in trying to find their clear. Scorpions aren't giving too much ground to them. This could be the opening here, but Potato is going to pass it back toward midfield, and it's back in front of the blue goal.
Shot from the Scorpions will be blocked. Nano is kind of stalling a little bit, has another touch. Zydra will force him to do something, however, so Baby will take the shot. Barely saved by Enzo, who now takes it off the wall to himself, does not make contact, and so the pack pass from the Scorpions will end up being in a shot anyway, so Toke gets to play it around one. Nano looks for the pass out mid, is unable to make second contact, so Enzo will bang it back downfield. Toke is up, Potato is also up. The block will go in favor of the Vipers, however, and Baby is tasked with getting it out. Is unable to do anything else as Enzo keeps pressure on.
Potato fighting with Toke over the soccer ball in the corner. Meanwhile, time's just gradually been bleeding away as we're almost down to the final minute here.
This goal line, a lot smaller than we've seen before. Only a 1-goal lead and only 1 goal scored in this game. I've got to wonder what changed for the Vipers to keep it this close coming into game 3. Definitely, this is the kind of battle they're looking for to turn it in their momentum, but oh, and the Vipers will find, I believe, only their 2nd goal in the series.
Yeah.
59 seconds left on the clock. They have the time to pull ahead, but the Scorpions are probably not going to give up that easily.
Yeah, Zydra just had to muscle that in again, just trying to shove Baby out of the way until the very last moment. Finally is able to squeeze it in. There goes Nano to get the clear. It's going to be taken away from him. Now as we go tied with less than a minute left, Enzo's going to rotate back toward their own goal. Effort to save it. Now it's going to leave it for Toke, but it's beaten to him by the Scorpions. The Baby is going to leave it right in front of the goal there, leaving it for someone, but there's no follow-up. So Toke is going to play it off the wall, move back up. There goes Enzo. Gonna try to ground it. It's right in front, but Nano and Potato were covering that heavily. So we might actually, unless Toke can get the goal here, which he doesn't, might be heading into overtime.
Baby up, hits it down, kind of low, not able to do anything else with it, so Enzo will pass off the wall, but to no one really, as Potato will find the beat out. It is in favor of the Scorpions right now. Enzo gets the clear out from the corner, looks for the second tap. Potato has to rotate back, waits for Baby's touch, passes it down, and now we will be heading into what I believe is the first overtime of the day. With a 1-1 scoreline, not what you'd expect after seeing the first 2 games of this series, both of them won by a 4-goal lead by the Scorpions. Oh my goodness, that has got to be one of the best redirects I have seen, and that was so fast. That has got to be one of the best redirects I've seen from the Esports Towers kids. That was an amazing pass and a great negative angle redirect to find the back of the net and send the Scorpions up into the finals.
Yep, they're going to go to the finals, still remaining undefeated as a team this week, so congratulations to them. So you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers? Then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarships. So the Scorpions will continue their perfect run of games to advance on to the grand finals. The question is, who is going to join them? We're going to have to find out. Is it going to be the Lynx or the Barracudas? We'll be right back after this break with more Rocket League action.
Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at count.com.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. The Boise State Esports Arena, excuse me. The Lynx have a chance to run the table in the group stage tonight. They are going to be facing off against the defending champs from round 1, the Scorpions. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer. Joining me to call all of the action is Joe Tacky Chigbrow. And before we get in, like I said, we have the other semifinals. We know the Scorpions are going to be moving on to the grand finals. And now we're going to find out who is going to be joining them in that face-off. It's either going to be the Lynx or the Barracudas as we head into this second semifinal. And overall, from what you've seen tonight, what would be your main pointers going in?
I think right now my main pointer is midfield is winning the game again. If you're playing accurately around the midfield, then you'll be fine. I feel like the big things the mistakes that people are making surrounding them is they're being way too far up or way too far back. You got to find that middle line. Make sure you're not just staring at the ball. Make sure you're staring at, okay, I see the next guy, this is the next guy that's going to hit the ball. I can see that he's too close or he doesn't have enough boost to hit the ball that far, so I can creep up a little bit. Or I can see that he does definitely have the wind-up to hit the ball big, so I'm going to step back a little bit further. So think about the play a little bit more. Don't bore your eyes into the ball, and make sure you keep pressure for as long as possible.
Well, that's not the only keys to the game that we have here. We also have them from our very own Doc Haskell, head coach of Boise State Esports, and that's going to be to create mistakes, punish overcommits, play off the walls better, and demo to disrupt. It's brought to you by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. After avoiding the Scorpions by winning a tie-breaking game, can the Barracudas beat the Lynx again to go back to the grand finals? We take a look at the bracket here. It kind of shows just how much of a presence the Scorpions have made for themselves when there's a tie-breaking game, just to see who avoids them and has a chance to move on to the finals. So overall, you kind of saw a little bit of what these teams had to offer early on in our first match here. So what are you most looking forward to?
Oh, man. I think I'm really looking forward to how they've adapted what they've talked about between the last time they played and now. It hasn't been very long, obviously, but I'm really excited to see if they've made any adjustments or if they're just focusing on, okay, let's just fix our game. Let's start there. Let's make sure our rotations are clean, no double commits, no triple commits, and let's work from there.
All right, let's head into game 1 of this match. The second semifinal of the tournament is going to be Lynx versus Barracudas. Who will join the Scorpions and fight for the Week 2 championship? We're about to find out. Should say that the Lynx didn't really have much to play for tournament-wise in the tiebreaker game, so the coaches aren't worried that we saw them go 0-3 here, so this is kind of like a complete new chance for them. The slate is wiped clean. We'll see what they do with it as Quez making his way with a nice clear there. Wild's already on the back foot, and Rift and Drift both look like they went for that one in terms of committing to it. So a little bit to shake out as things go and start.
Cran looking for pressure off the ball, is beat out by a Drift, however, so Quez will have to play it slow off the wall himself. Passing down the Wilds, not what he was looking for. Quez gets the stomp down, maybe finding a goal of his own, but barely unable to do anything else. Breed will take the shot in open net, and the Barracudas will pull ahead again against the Lynx coming into this game 1. Only 38 seconds in.
Yeah, agreed. One of the more popular players just in terms of the fan base that he has and people who cheer for him when we play games in person. Quez going to move it up the field, facing off against Wild. Reed tries to get a tap on it, but it's still deflected by the Lynx. Grounded toward Adrift. Quez is going to leave it for Crayon. Actually played himself up toward the goal, but the angle was just a bit too tight there to try to score on it.
Wilds taps it up and out. Adrift looking for his next touch off the wall. Maybe he plays it back to himself. Has a little bit of time. Hits it up. Waits for the touch. It tries to go underneath, but is unable to do anything else. So Quez will tap it out. Reed looking for the follow-up to hit it down the field. Now we wait as Thrift looks to stall a little bit longer, but Cran is not letting him do it. Adrift with the bang downfield, but Quez is in the way.
Adrift with a shot on goal, but it's pretty slow. Crayon able to defend against it. Reed around the corner. Adrift is given a bit of trouble to Quez here, but Quez still manages to get it to midfield. He's going to hand it off to Greed. Crayon is going to go for a shot on goal here. Beautifully aimed and finds it. Barracuda's early lead.
Barracudas solidifying their lead by one more goal, putting them in that safety position. They still have 3 minutes of defense to play on the clock, but that's not very long if you can keep playing the way they're playing right now, not giving a lot of space in the midfield line. Cran taps it up to the corner, looking for an opportunity, looks for the play on his own, but is almost able to punch it all the way through. And Quez now has to play a little defense. He's got 2v1 here, the pass to Wilds, and he gets in the way just in time. The save immaculate. And now Quez passing out the Cran, looks for the shot, and it's an open net again. You're too overextended, Lynx. You have to think about what the other team is capable of, and they find the passing play to the mid laner, and it goes in, finding a free lead for the Barracudas.
Wow, it's up to a 3-0 lead already. I thought, just taking my eyes away for one moment, and already 2 goals scored by the Barracudas. They are quite well off in this match. Lynx still trying to find their play. There's a bit of a pop there. Continues to dribble it. Ooh. And, oh, that looks like that might have been actually a weird angle off the Barracudas.
I couldn't tell without. It looked like maybe the Lynx got in front of that off of like a weird read or just happenstance, but regardless, the Lynx do find their first goal in the series. Not off to a bad start. Still have 2 minutes to score 2 goals. We've seen some crazy comebacks before, but having to make a comeback never feels good. It always feels like so much pressure, and Greed is willing to make you feel every inch of that pressure as he tries to force it into the back of the net all on his own. But Quez just trying to set up for Cran. It's slow roller towards the net, but Wilds will be in the way. Cran bumps into Greed. Some miscommunication there, double commit. This could be a disaster. Adrift takes the shot. No one's home, and yes, that double commit will cost them their 2-0 lead. And now the Lynx are threatening to make some kind of comeback heading into the last minutes of this game.
Look at that. Wilds using every bit of that boost to his advantage there, just to say that he could meet it quite far up there. A little bit of a show off, but overall, it's kind of a dangerous back pass there. It goes and bounces off the Lynx' own goal. Doesn't get scored on, but it might leave it open for Crayon here. Wilds kind of a bit of redemption there. This very last moment, push it off to the side.
Wilds is up, taps it back to himself. Quez has to be in the way. He is, pushes past. Rift has to slow play back. Quez barely not able to get a wheel on it, so now the pressure will remain on the side of Barracudas. Greed pushing it downfield, is beat out by Wilds, who has an opportunity. No one in his way yet, but Quez is just trying to slow him down, just trying to stall a little bit, but it won't really work out. Now the double commit off the corner will give Thrift all the time he needs. Cran has to save it, and he does. Adrift looks for the pass out mid again, and Cran is again in the way. Cran being that defensive and midfield mastermind that we saw him be in the first series. Definitely the star player right now for the Barracudas in my eyes. Keeping the pressure, but at the end of the day, something has to start working out. Otherwise, if you let the Lynx put you on defense for too long, you're going to end up in this scary situation. 30 seconds left, 0-0 scoreline.
Aggressive play by Greed to start things off here. It's going to allow Quez to leave it, try to waterfall it down, but Thrift gets a really nice shot way back over to the corner. Now right in front of the goal. Is there any follow-up, or are they going to slow play it? Just wait for the right opportunity. There goes Thrift past Greed, and there it is. They find it. They're back in the lead. They overcame a 3-goal deficit with 4 goals in the row with just 8 seconds left.
The last man barely not able to make contact there for the Barracudas will put them in a really bad spot now. Now the pressure is all on them, and the clock is ticked all the way down, and a bad touch from Greed will end it. The Lynx steal away that game at the last moment. A mistake, to say the least, from the Barracudas will give them the opportunity to pull ahead this time, but for the Lynx.
That was probably one of the better comebacks I've seen in Esports Tower. Normally when it gets toward 3 goals, you kind of get a next game mentality, but that just shows why I'm up here and not competing, because the Lynx saw their opportunity and claimed it. Now they're going to find themselves in the lead. And overall, I got to say for the Lynx, just great team, great story, probably has one of the greatest team dynamics that I've ever seen. They're just a bunch of great players, and I'm glad to see that they didn't get shut out here. But also the Barracudas are great players too, and they've got a great team. I guess I'm just saying that I'm glad I was able to see them play in person, because just seeing these people get along with each other, and actually, you can see the friendships that are being made. That's kind of one of the more important things in this tournament that doesn't often get mentioned.
It is important to remember that Esports Tower is a high school program, so all these players still are here to learn and still have a lot of their life ahead of them. So seeing that camaraderie this early can be rather heartwarming, even in a competitive setting. But Greed, leading the Barracudas, obviously looking to turn that heartwarming moment into an absolute dub still. But he has his work cut out for him. The Lynx that refuse to back down. They're coming into this series a lot stronger than last time, but admittedly their early game looked a little bit shaky. Quez will take it towards the wall, looking for a play of his own. Unable to do anything else with it, so Greed will have to wait. Wild is up instead. Maybe a pass to a drift off the backboard. Oh, almost a crazy goal altogether. He's unable to do anything else. It's bouncing in front of the goal. You have to get it out, Barracudas. You have to get it out. Oh my goodness, so many opportunities for the Lynx to pull ahead there, but just barely not able to. Now Cran will lead the charge downfield, but Wild will stop him. A touch out will put it in a place where Greed is barely able to make contact. A double commit from Greed and Quez. Maybe a little bit just from the bump is enough to mess up the communication there. We'll have to see what kind of adjustments are made. Wild looking for the shot. Cran unable to get in the way. No one back post. Cran got caught out playing the mid post, which is not a position that exists. This is why you have to stick to your back post rotations, and he is caught out.
Yeah, basically, if the ball is trickling into the goal at that slow of a speed, you know that there's been some kind of defensive breakdown. And it looks like that's what happened for the Barracudas. Can they recover, though? Will the Lynx maintain their goal? Lynx have proven that just an early lead doesn't mean that you're the team that's going to win, so we'll see if that works on the other foot here with the Barracudas. So far, the Lynx trying to keep possession of the ball. Cram to take it away, but now there goes Adrift with a shot way back off the crossbar. Is there a follow-up? There was a demo in the goal, too, to try to clear it out. And another one in midfield. The Lynx are getting rather chippy.
Oh, there's an opportunity. No contact made in a respective manner. Now Cran is kind of just having to clean up the scraps. So close so many times. It was a little bit of a, dare I say, oil bath instead of fun bath because of the demos going on the Lynx end for a little bit there. But looks like they've recovered a little bit now. Barracudas still wanting to keep their offense going in this game. Want to make sure that the Lynx are having to work for every opportunity they have to cross the midfield line. But Barracudas, they need to find a goal here soon. Otherwise, they're going to be stuck in a rather precarious situation going into the last minute.
Halfway through the game, and Lynx maintain a narrow one-goal lead. Rip doesn't look like he got the shot he was looking for there. It just kind of died right in front of him. So that gives the Barracudas enough time to set things up. Actually, oh, Greed is just going to be there for the save. It looked like the clear might not go through for the Barracudas at all. And even though Greed's best efforts, it gets answered back pretty quickly. So now they're going to have to try again here. Quez leaves it for Greed, and it gets deflected by Wilds, and a great read over, and they might have left their goal open here as Wilds dribbles it up the field. Quez with last-minute rotation is going to be able to keep the goal lead for the Lynx still at just one.
A double commit from Cran and one of the other, I believe it was maybe Quez, did have a scary opportunity there, but oh, again, what is going on the defensive end? Cran is caught in the middle of his net again instead of playing the back post. That would have been a great save if he had just waited a little further back, but Lynx pouncing on that poor decision and finding another goal, pulling them ahead for what I believe is, barring last game at the last moment, really their first time leading a game today.
Yeah, even under the toughest of circumstances, the Lynx have managed to recover beautifully here. Means that the question is, can the Barracudas do that? You have to kind of wonder just a little bit about the mental state right now. Not to try to get too much into the players' heads, but I mean, when you're leading 3-0 and the other team has a 4-goal rally to take it away from you with just 8 seconds left on the clock in the first game, you gotta wonder if things are just maybe falling apart a little for the Barracudas. Maybe they're getting tunnel vision, maybe not. We're just gonna have to see them pull things together as we move forward.
The mentality from the Lynx has to be sky high right now. Pulling ahead after kind of struggling in that first series. They're probably feeling good about the adjustments they made. Barracudas are feeling the pressure for sure. If they don't find 2 goals in the next 30 seconds, which is quite the bout, they're going to be put in a position where they're almost getting ready to be swept. An adjustment needs to be made, to say the least. Thrift is trying to push it down the field a little bit more, but is unable to do anything else with it. Adrift stalls in the corner, is unable to get it past Quez, who does leave it over for Cran, who looks at the pass, and a shot from, I believe, Quez will find them their first goal of this game and give them only 9 seconds to find the middle
What is it this match and last-minute plays? Under just 10 seconds, there have been kind of 2 buzzer beaters, and talk about one, the most, almost the most anticlimactic buzzer beater I have ever seen. Which that sounds, it sounds like a bit of a. It sounds like they contradict each other, but it kind of worked out there, just the way that would have trickled in. But overall, the Lynx now find themselves at match point, which this is, I wasn't expecting that at all when we started things out. And it was the Barracudas in the lead 3-0.
Yeah, I really feel like the Barracudas' fundamentals are taking kind of a fall in the last couple of games. The last game especially. Yeah. It felt like there were double commits everywhere. Like there was no communication. The passes were just kind of out there and just hoping to get things done. They were double committing. There were some triple commits. And there were some moments where the defense wasn't doing like very basic stuff like playing the back post. If you play the mid post, you cut off half the goal that you're able to defend. You cannot do that to yourself. So it's going to come down to them taking a deep breath and remembering the stuff that they've been working on for years now.
There isn't even a mid-post physically on the
No,
field.
there isn't.
So if there was, it would be even more of a nightmare to try to score just having one mid-post. It was supposed to be like you're playing pinball, and sometimes the machines have a stopper in the middle to try to stop. But I'm getting way too off track here. We want to get back on track to this game and see if the Lynx can close it out and move on to the finals against the Scorpions. What a rally they would have if they were able to do that. And I would say if the Lynx win here, it would be something of, I don't know if they would even care that much about the grand final, because it's like you're just proud of the performance you put in, and the circumstances you found yourselves in to get to the finals is already plenty to be proud of. We'll just have to see if the Barracudas are going to put a dent in that plan. Brown is trying to leave it for either Reed or Quez, but they're left chasing it. It's going to be bounced back for the Lynx goal. Pretty standard clear for Thrift off of the goal, off the wall, excuse me. Wilds meets in front of the goal. Again, there's another double commit there to try to get the goal. It seems like the Barracudas, they might have a mentality of try to get a goal at any cost here, but sometimes you just overextend and you get punished for that.
No matter what happens in this series, no matter what team comes out on top, no matter how well they play, they have quite the giant waiting for them in the grand finals.
Oh my goodness, did you see that? Right at the 1 second you looked away, Tacky. That was probably the most...
I saw it on the other monitor, though. Oh my goodness, that was a wild situation.
That's a split-second play there to determine the outcome of the game if I ever saw one.
Oh, but what happened? Where's the blue defense? Barracudas, where are you guys? There's 3 offenders between you guys and the net. Usually on a mistake there's even only 1, but 3. Wow, the Lynx were given basically free play for a moment there. Barracudas need to make some adjustments to their defense, otherwise this game is just going to end up even worse than the last couple.
So far, and the goal is so open there, I think the Lynx might have double committed on the final shot just for show. Like say, hey, we can afford to do this. It's just already, when the other team is already having a problem double committing, that's just even more salt in the wound there.
Lynx are probably feeling themselves, as I mentioned before. They're probably feeling good about their gameplay right now. They feel like they have the Barracudas on the ropes, and the Barracudas are definitely feeling the pressure. They have to reverse sweep. They have to make changes, and now they not only have to reverse sweep, but they have to get their lead back, which is going to cost them at least 2 goals. The pressure is in favor of the Lynx. Cran banks it out towards the sidewall. Thrift gets a good touch. 3 defenders on the wall. Definite miscommunication there. Look at all the time the Lynx have. They can just let him outplay himself and look for the pass from the midfield, but it's unable to do anything else with it. So Drift will launch it out over to Greed, who does get a good tap back to the middle. Drift crosses all the way on the other end of the field, so Wilds is up, looks for the pass out to a Drift, who is up, but Quez finds the beat. Maybe a double tap opportunity, but it is blocked at the last moment by the Lynx defense. Wilds still staying on the ball. Cran looking for the pass out mid. Drift drops it out to his team, a double commit, but it does squish out to Quez, who does get a touch over 1. Wilds is up, Quez is up, bumped each other, and now the pressure finally converts in favor of the Barracudas. Wilds has taken all the way around his own net and try to find some way out. but Cran is not letting him do it. He needs back into this game. He knows he's on his last life. Barracuda's trying to work together to stay in it just a little bit longer.
Drift hanging back, find the save. That was a very well-placed clear two. Gave enough time for them to find some boost when all of them were a little bit starved for it. Going to be looking for their next play here. And again, I haven't really seen any major double commits there on the Lynx, whereas as soon as I mention that, I see one from the Barracudas. So, you know, to kind of quote a veteran Boise State esports caster, someone I know you're familiar with, Jisoo Taki. This is why you don't want to play bunch bowl. You just don't you don't want to play bunch bowl. It's not the game you want to play, and you're not going to win trying to play it.
Oh, that was an impressive shot to say the least. That was an impressive display of mechanical prowess, finding the air dribble from the sidewall and just forcing it through the Lynx defense. Admittedly, the save could have been better, but it was a good job pouncing on that mistake. And now the Barracudas have found their way back into the game. Lynx need to get kind of off their own head and think about what they're doing again. They have control of the game, but they have to find one more goal to get back in it. And almost another shot from Quez. Oh, another shot from Greed. Almost finds a third goal for the Barracudas. It's running out of play again. The Lynx are showing those growing pains that they had in the first couple games, in the first series, and in this game. And now they have to get it back together. They don't have a lot of time. They have less than a minute. Find one more goal, they can do it, but they have to make some changes. Wilds and Adrift kind of bunched up right now. Cran has full control of the plays, looking for the pass up mid. Greed will be up, he takes the shot, it's on, and Thrift will find the save. Wilds plays it around one. Cran looking for a pass out mid, but Wilds is in the way. Thrift will just cut in and take it anyway. Oh, they're all over each other. The Lynx are panicking a little bit. Double commits all over the place. Adrift looking for the play off the wall, bumps his own teammate trying to get out of the play. Oh, disaster to say the least. They don't have enough time to make these kinds of mistakes. They need to take a deep breath, and they need to do it now. The time is not in their favor. They could be forcing a game 4 if they don't fix it.
A breakaway shot, though, toward the goal, and it's going to find it with just 11 seconds left on the timer. Lynx tie it up again.
Oh, my goodness. The Lynx finally find their way back in. It's a 0-0 scoreline with 11 seconds left on my clock. The pressure has to be mounting for both teams. The Lynx really want to avoid that reverse sweep situation. They want to avoid giving the Barracudas any kind of grip over the series, any kind of positive momentum. And the Barracudas are on their last life. They're gasping for air in this series. They need this goal. They need to force the game 4. Otherwise, they are out of the tournament. They will not be facing down the Scorpions in the grand finals. 5 seconds in, the pressure is in favor of the Lynx as they get the first tap out. Long clear. Greed is up, but is unable to contact. Oh, no contact from Quez. It's in. We've had the shortest overtimes this day in general. We've had some of the shortest overtimes I've seen in a while, and 2 whiffs from the Barracudas defense. A consistent falter for that series will end up costing them the victory to the Lynx, who will rebounded and found their way into the grand finals.
Oh, wow. Considering how that started out, how the turns have tabled. Well, Esports Tower, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. So now we know the lineup for our grand finals this week. It's going to be the Lynx versus the Scorpions. So going up a team against the Scorpions, I'm sure the Lynx are going to want a little bit of a break. That's what we're going to take right now, and we'll be back with the championships to find out who wins this.
Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at count.com.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at count.com.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League, broadcasting from Boise State Esports Arena. We end the night with the Scorpions taking on the Lynx in the Grand Finals. Can the Scorpions claim back-to-back Grand Final titles, or can the Lynx claim their first title of the Summer Invitational? That's what we'll find out tonight. I'm host Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Joe Tacky Chickbrow. Got all the action for this final match, and I think the one thing that I would leave to the Lynx mainly going in right now is, like, be proud that you made it this far, that you won in spectacular fashion, and just take it one play at a time, because I think if we saw anything from that final match, it's like, if you get into your head, we're ahead, we're behind, and you're trying to think so much into, you're going to start making big mistakes. Yep,
like Artie and I have said a million times, treat every game like it's game one. Same intensity, same level of kind of confidence and trust in your teammates especially. But at the end of the day, they have their work cut out for them, and so do the Scorpions. The Lynx were looking good in that last series, but the Scorpions, they have a little bit of pressure on them, to say the least. Not necessarily in that they shouldn't feel threatened. It's more so that they, leading up to this point, haven't dropped a game. Can you believe that? Haven't dropped a game?
Yeah, that's what I was about to mention. They are just completely undefeated this week, and they were the champions last week as well. It's just the Scorpions been taking up so much oxygen in the arena that the main storyline has just been the other three teams trying to rally against them. So we have a definite champion. We have a definite underdog. We're going to see who wins out. And the team that wins out is probably going to be the team that follows Doc's keys to the game the most. And that's going to be to create mistakes, punish overcommits, play off the walls better, and demo to disrupt. Doc's keys to the game brought to you by esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched up with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Our final game of the night is the Scorpions and Lynx in the Grand Finals for week number 2. So here we go into the Grand Finals. Who will win this? Will it be the undefeated Scorpions or the upstart Lynx? We're about to find out in just a crucial few seconds. And a quick disclaimer before we get into this game, just due to a minor technical issue. If you see the Vipers in-game, that's actually the Scorpions. So just keep in your mind they're both venomous animals. Whoever is the more venomous animal is, in fact, the Scorpions in this round. So just use that little mnemonic device to keep in your mind how things are churning out. And another way you can tell it's the Scorpions is if Gababy's on the team, because Gababy has been such a good player.
Yeah, Gababy is definitely, like I said, the front line of every team he's on in terms of offense. But you got to hand it to his teammates. He's only able to do what he's able to do because his teammates enable him with great passes and opportunities that they create. But, you know, Gababy, you can't not hand it to him. His consistency is on point. But the Lynx definitely have what the Scorpions are going to be looking for in terms of forcing them off of that perfect record, dare I say. Nano pushes it downfield. The bang from Wilds off the backboard. Baby is up, and Thrift will find the first goal here, putting the Lynx ahead over the Scorpions. Pressure on the Scorpions. They haven't probably felt that too much so far in this league lately, but it's definitely something they need to get used to playing against these Lynx. They've worked so hard to get here, and oh my goodness, and they're just giving it to the Scorpions right now. A 2-0 lead for the Lynx. Only 4 minutes and 19 seconds left on the clock will mean that Vipers, or I guess the Scorpions, have so much time left.
I mean, and what did we just get finished talking about before this round started? I mean, it seems the downfall for so many teams has been once they start falling behind by 2 goals especially, we start to see mistakes be brought out. So that's going to be the question for the Scorpions going forward. We're going to watch their gameplay very closely here, see how they do when they have pressure like this that they're having to play against.
Not giving them yet. Potato gives it over to Nano, who passes it off the wall. Pop up will, oh, I can't see. Okay, there we go. Adrift looks for the pass over to his teammate, Wild, who will find a 3rd goal onto the Scorpions. The Scorpions are getting the business right now. Lynx refusing to feel any kind of fear going into game 1. We'll have to see if they're really threatening to take that perfect win streak away from the Scorpions, or if the Scorpions are just needing their second to warm up before they start really putting the pressure down. Nano trying to lead that charge, gets the touch off the sidewall, looking for a touch of his own, off towards the backboard. Thrift passes it towards the corner, keeps in control for a little bit longer, but the pass will go in favor of Kababy. Potato's in the way, but a big spike downfield will put it in favor of the Lynx for a little while longer.
I just have to say that you mentioned that winning streak there. That winning streak would be 15-0 if they won. So we're just going to have to see if the Lynx have found a way. And we have Rule 1 being brought out. Even with a game like this in the final, we'll still have the players respecting the Rule 1. So now we're going to see some 2v2 Rocket League going forward. And for the next few minutes, if we're in 2v2, what are the main differences between 2v2 and 3v3 and how it's played, Tacky?
You have to play to your safe angles a lot more often. You can't take any risks. Like this, the Vipers just took a major, or I guess the Scorpions took a major risk. They committed 2 people to an offensive play. When you do that, if that offensive play doesn't work out, it means your net is open. So a lot of 2v2 is solo plays. But we're back to a 3v3 scenario, and Nano will find his first goal, putting the Lynx back to their 3-goal lead. I say only, meaning still a giant 3-goal lead. But, you know, 2 minutes, 26 seconds left on the clock, plenty of time for the Scorpions to turn it around. We can never really count them out with the offense that they have, but they definitely have to make a change. They have their backs against the wall.
Now, I did say 15-0. That's assuming that they win all 3 games here. I just wanted to clear up. They played 3 games in the group stage and the final. So currently, the Scorpions are sitting at 12-0. So they're looking to make that 13-0, but they would have to have such a rally right now to try to do that. As long as the Lynx don't make too many careless mistakes and can maintain control or just widen the lead up even more like that, they're going to be looking to unseat the champs here.
Definitely keeping the pressure on. This is the kind of Lynx we need to see if they want to make any kind of run at the Scorpions. So far, working out for the Lynx, but they still have so much time left on the clock. Doesn't feel like a lot, but for the Scorpions, it definitely is all the time they need. But the Lynx are just not letting them in. They're working together as a team, finding these passing plays. No double commits yet. Thrift is up, passes it back down to himself, so Potato will find the demo. Baby works for the pass, but Wilds is in the way, and now Adrift is able to push downfield and create space for his team. 1 minute and 20 left on the clock. They need to find some goals now. The time is running out. Nano goes for the shot, is unable to do anything else, so Potato will take it towards the wall, doesn't get the touch, and Baby passes back towards Potato, gets a touch over Wilds. The shot maybe is a little wide, thanks to Baby.
We'll talk about the Lynx as a team that has defied all expectations. They are going to be looking to go into this, ending this round here with such comfortable lead. Can they do it again here? They're trying for their 6th. They actually find it. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me that this is how it starts out?
This is just not working for the Scorpions. Something needs to make a change. Hopefully they bounce back in game 2, but the Lakes are just all over them right now. Every opportunity that they're given, even some that they have to create on their own, they're making away with. These shot opportunities from the Lynx are looking much more quality, and now they're pulling ahead really early on.
Drift Lemming has control of the ball. Wilds is waiting to make the play.
The Brazil. A 7-1 lead.
Of course.
Where the Lynx are pulling
If
ahead.
there's any more of a perfect visual analogy, we're just going to go for the Brazil here to show the Scorpions falling. Oh, my goodness.
This, I feel pretty confident saying this will be the first game that the Scorpions lose so far in this series. And it's been a pretty legendary one.
Yeah,
they're trying to force
with the Brazil known less.
But it will go in the favor of the Brazil.
Wow, what a performance by the Lynx. One so great, I think I have to make the visual analogy here that officially makes the Scorpions record 12. Everyone knows the power of the red pen.
Power of the red pen.
1.
12 and 1. A very big one.
And it is a very big. I'm going to underline it for emphasis here because it's a one that like you don't even want. You're not even noticing the 12 right now. It's like the 12. No, this one stuns so much. But now that's the big question of how. The question I want to ask you is, what do you see the path forward for the Scorpions? How do they recover?
I think they need to get back into the groove. It kind of felt like they were caught off guard early on, and they just kind of remained kind of down for the rest of the game. I feel like what they need to do is just take a mental reset, deep breath. They're usually the one with that kind of pressure, and we just didn't see it. And I don't think it was necessarily cut down. I just don't think that they were making it necessarily. There was a lot of individuals just trying to hit off the wall, not a lot of midfield passing. They just need to take a deep breath, work together, use their communication. They can bounce back from this. Now the Lynx, if they want to keep that kind of pressure, they're going to have to understand that Scorpions that they saw in the last game is not the same Scorpions they're going to see every single game of the series. They have to be ready for those midfield passes because that's what they're really good at. Gababy, especially working together with Nano and Protato, are really good at finding those midfield passes, but they have to understand that the Lynx have to understand that that's going to happen. The Scorpions are going to find a way to make that work again, and when they do, you're going to need to be on top of it. Otherwise, this series is just going to be pulled right out of your mouth again.
All right, so the question is, of the two markers I hold in my hands right now, the green and the red one, which one am I going to use more as we move forward here? Lynx are hoping that I'm just start using that red marker a lot. Technically it'd be green for them because they find themselves in the lead here, off to a great start in this best of 5. Already a bit of pressure being put on them by the Scorpions. Gonna try to leave it in front of the goal. It just gets stopped by Thrift. A drift to leave it to Thrift. Back over to Wilds. Look out here, a double commit trying to save that. That is not what you want to see from the Scorpions.
A little bit of panic, but not something they haven't recovered from before. The Scorpions do have a tendency to double commit on some plays. Doesn't usually spell disaster for them, but it's definitely something that they need to work on a little bit more. Gababy working together with Protato, going back to his strong arming of the enemy defense. A pop-up from Nano will mean that they do not find the goal here. Now Thrift pushing it downfield. Has Wild pushing them out of the way, so Nano will make the superhero fly-in save at the last moment. Nano's going to look for a flick, is unable to get a proper touch on it, so a Drift will launch it down to the midfield. Drift passes back to himself, flicks over one, top corner, and now Protato barely hits it out. Nano has to follow up off the wall. Barely the cleanup crew for Nano all over the place right now. Protato looks to go under one, is unable to beat a Drift, who passes it over to Baby, and so Drift's back on the wall, misses his opportunity. Protato gets the bump on Wilds. Opportunity here, unable to do anything else with it, so Nano will slow play it around one. A Drift gets 50-50, Gababy's in the way, pops it over Wilds. Oh, barely, almost barred down. Another pass on the backboard, doesn't go in. Nano has to clean up crew again, he's in an awkward spot. Thrift unable to get the touch, Protato comes in and saves the day, and now, oh, the Vipers, or Scorpions, are able to get back into the offensive end. An opportunity they shouldn't have been able to have, and now the offense just looking so good for the Scorpions.
Drift is just waiting there for that clear. Drift is trying to rotate in. Nano, shot on goal. Like seeing what I saw there from Thrift, though. Thrift committed to that. Drift is still waiting. Now he's able to play for this one here. Can't necessarily count that as a double commit because that was Really needed to save right there, and I don't think it was true double commit there from the Lynx. So we move on here. Still a scoreless tie. Always something you want to brag about to your friends, competing in a scoreless tie.
Nano kind of playing patiently, unable to get past one, so Wilds will dribble downfield a little bit more. Potato does beat him out, hitting it downfield. An opportunity here if Thrift doesn't get a good touch. He does. The drift demos Potato, gets him out of his end. No more strong arming my team. But ultimately a slow response from the Lynx will result in a Vipers lead over this game 2, I believe.
I mean, if you're looking at the stats there, it's kind of no surprise that the Scorpions eventually got the goal they were looking for. They had 8 shots on goal compared to the Lynx's 2. So back over to an even footing. The Scorpions look like they've gotten their groove back.
Yeah, like I was saying before, they have to play their own game. The kind of pressure that the Lynx had last game is what we usually see out of the Scorpions. If they make the adjustment and they come back into this game with game 1 mentality, then they'll be in a much better spot. And now Thrift is tasked with just finding a way out of this classic Scorpions playstyle. Potato will keep it up, however, finds a weird pinch. It will cross over, not dangerous for the Lynx yet. Baby doesn't get the read right. It is a little bit difficult to say the least, and now Nano shot over, so a Drift has the pass, and he's unable to do anything else with it. The shot is not good. Nano looks for the flick, gets it over Thrift, off the backboard. A demo, Potato is up, looks for a good touch, is unable to do it. Baby is up, it's high. The shot is not good. A Drift up to block Nano, is unable to do it. Thrift with the bang downfield. Pressure is in the... Oh, Potato gets it last moment, and it's kind of diffused for a moment.
Just 1 minute left in this match. Right. Oh. Where are the Lynx?
Oh.
That was really dangerous right there. We'll see how they can... Oh! It just didn't get better.
What is happening?
It didn't get better. It went from bad to worse.
Oh my goodness, what a fiasco in the front of the blue net there. Now the Vipers, or Scorpions, have found their 2-goal lead going into game 2.
The Lynx, I was talking you up so much, and you're going to let this happen. Okay, baby, he's rolled over the activity feed. It's now completely filled with just shots on goal and actual goals. He has a hat trick, too. All 3 goals thanks to him.
Yeah, game 1, I think the Scorpions maybe just needed that nap after a long season of domination, and now they're right back in it, feeling very healthy and adjusted. Nano able to lead that charge, get past the end for a little bit longer, but Thrift bangs it all the way back. A good pass out downfield, unable to be responded to yet, so Nano has a ton of time, takes it towards the wall to play it off himself. Looks for the shot. Gets kind of a weird touch. Drift is in the way. A little bit of double commit in the back corner, though, so Potato will just take the ball for himself. Leave it for Gababy. Their front runner will find the one chink in the armor, the front post. Doesn't matter high or low. It finds the back of the net. And with 4-goal lead, I would say it's pretty much impossible in 2 seconds to score 4 goals, and the Lynx will find themselves utterly dominated in game 2. Not as bad as they dominated in game 1, though.
Sure. But I mean they're forever now going to have that one on the end of their record. So that's the important thing. That's the takeaway here that the Lynx can. That's the one feather they can put in their cap. But overall now, as we basically reset this to a best of 3, it's now no longer best of 3. It's back to a best of 5. So the stakes have been completely evened. Who do you think? I mean, what are the weaknesses that both teams are showing right now that the others can exploit?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it kind of from the weaknesses on the Lynx standpoint, I think that their weaknesses aren't necessarily as apparent as much as they just don't have that kind of aggression that they need right now to shut down those plays early. It's not necessarily that the plays are missing necessarily. It's more so that they just need to adjust their play style to be more in the face like they were in game 1. That's what they need to do. We see time and time again that if the Scorpions are pushed back on a little bit, sometimes that's all they need to make the game a little bit more shaky or all in the other direction. But the Scorpions are really good at getting that early pressure, so if you don't give it to them, that's their game plan, like out the window. So you can't give them that early pressure. That's the weakness from the Scorpions. The weakness from the Lynx is not responding to it.
All righty, we'll see who indeed plays better in this third game, who's going to set themselves up to a match point. Nano getting the first tap on that kickoff. Gets the Scorpions a little bit of side control to start things off. Lyle's looking to make the play, leaves it for a drift. Up the field, around the corner to center. Where's the follow-up? It's not quite there. Because Potato answered that pretty darn quickly, though, so it would have been hard to score either way.
Pop out. We'll go to Thrift. Potato blocks for a little bit, but is unable to remain in control. Nano gets bumped by Thrift. Thrift takes control, hands it over to a Drift, who passes downfield. Good Baby taking his time off the backboard, pushes it past Wilds, looks for maybe another touch, gets the pitch out. Nano will cut in the way, and Rotato has to play cleanup for a little bit as Good Baby sets up a pass downfield. Drift knocking it down. Drift passing towards the far corner, almost a goal scored there, but barely pushed out by Scorpions defense. Wilds gets demoed. It's popped up. Potato looks for an opportunity, doesn't pass to a teammate, instead just bangs it downfield. Wilds will take it from him and say, yes, thank you for the possession. Wilds off the backboard, it spills out in front. Oh, a crashing waterfall save from the Scorpions defense will mean that Nano maybe is able to find a goal, but barely doesn't. It's up still. Potato's beat, and finally we're going all the way back down to the other end of the field. A scary situation, almost led to 2 different goals could have been scored.
And another waterfall down in front of the Scorpions goal. Wilds again on this dangerous rotation back. Might not be there in time. All 3 members of the Lynx are defending their own goal. I don't even know what's happening here. This is so polarizing of gameplay. It's either one team on the back foot or the other. It doesn't seem either team is really doing well to rotate back and answer back the other team's counterattacks.
Nano passes it mid, but is unable to find anyone, so Thrift pops it up, gets a demo. An opportunity here. Potato needs to get it out. He doesn't. It's off the backboard. The Drift is up, takes the shot. Good Baby barely in the way, hits it out, has a little bit of time. No boost, however, so he gives it over to Thrift. Does get the big boost, so now Thrift gets the pass mid. Potato hits it down, but is unable to get it under, so Nano has to stall. Wilds pops it up, stalls for Nano. Passes it back to himself off the wall. Nano just plays it slow, sees that he has an opportunity. Good Baby has to challenge this, does get the good 50, pops it up one more time, but doesn't go anywhere, so a Drift will take it off the wall. Potato finds a great low 50-50 to hang it off the wall. Now, Nano has to get the touch. He does. It's passed off the backboard. Nano has to wait. Wilds looking for the pass out mid. Good Baby backflips. The Drift can take the shot. Nano does get the touch out at the last moment, though, so Good Baby gets to leave it. Potato looks for the touch and is unable to do anything else.
Shot answered back by the Scorpions to set themselves up. Blue side of the field. Nano again with a great shot. It goes off to the backboard. Potato to try to keep it going. Doesn't look like he finds anything under that. Nano. Just off of the crossbar. That was just 1 pixel low enough to be able to set it up for the Scorpions to get a 1-goal lead.
Oh, this is looking good. Nano is able to keep pressure, but is unable to do anything else. Good Baby hits it downfield, waiting a little bit longer, just kind of banging it off the ceiling there for a minute, trading blows with the game devs for a moment there. Nano has to make the last minute save. He does, so Potato pushes it a little further. Not a great touch. Gives Wilds all the space he needs, and ends up giving it to a Drift. He gives it back to Wilds. The give and go, 3 players down the field. And Wilds finds the demo. This could be all they need. Just needs to find one more bump. Thrift gets the touch over 1, touch over 2, but is unable to find the back of the net. A scary situation for the Vipers. They barely get out of a bump. A friendly fire bump will lead Potato to get free pressure for a little while, but is unable to do anything as Thrift barely gets in the way to stop it and stall a little bit longer.
Man, the Lynx are just trying time after time again to get some sort of victory. But they aren't finding the goals that they are fighting for so furiously. I just don't know if they can really do it. They might have left themselves too overextended here.
Ooh, so close. Nano, maybe another pass? Nope, doesn't make contact. Has to wait a little bit. That's okay. Good Baby's got him. Wilds is going to get in the way and just force him to not get the read. Nano tries to pinch it mid. He does, but a Drift is able to be in the way. Ends up leaving it for Thrift, however. Potato and Good Baby figuring out who's in control. Good Baby takes it off the wall. It actually doesn't make any contact at all. Nano will have to clean up the scraps a little bit to stall. Nano with a bad pinch off of Wilds will push it towards the net, but Rotato narrowly escapes the demo attempt and gives him an opportunity to push it out. They're still not at their end, however, and the ball will go down. That was probably, I think it maybe was the least scoring game we've seen today.
Yeah, I know.
That was a wild game to say the least. A 1-0 game. That was well fought.
I know. I mean, we're talking about the 0-1 that they have here.
Yeah.
This is the 0-1 that we're all worried about here. Look at this. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's the shots on goal there, 10-8 for the Lynx. They tried so hard, and they had so many opportunities.
Yeah. I'd have to look back at it, but I don't even feel like their opportunities were that bad. It's the extra mile of making them just that little bit better to where it's like just barely not perfect. If you can find just that Goldilocks area, then maybe you're able to find the net a little bit more often. But at the end of the day, there was a lot of scrappy defense played by the Scorpions that just managed to push that a little bit further. And to be honest, that scrappiness was only really there as a result of some mistakes to begin with. But they did find a way to adapt and not panic and make sure that they were able to keep it out a little bit longer, and that made the difference.
Well, now it's match point for the Scorpions. Can they get the final victory and claim back-to-back championship titles? Let's get into the game and see if our night is over right now.
Nano throws it back to Potato. Looks like some coordination on the kickoff to give it to their teammate early, but ultimately it will. Oh, that was scary. That could have been a shot opportunity, but Thrift does not make contact. Gababy is up, bangs it downfield. Thrift is in the way. He has time, leaves it for Wilds instead. Nano looking for a solo play. Maybe goes for the flipper set, does get it, but does not get the follow-up touch. So Potato will get to pass it downfield. Adrift maybe stalling. Potato does get a touch out. Wilds bangs it downfield. Back corner, Nano is in the way, pops it back up to himself off the wall, is beaten by Thrift. An opportunity, but Potato barely gets it out. Nano off the wall, almost makes contact for a shot, and Adrift banks it downfield. The battle of the midfield defense right now from both teams. Both teams trying to figure out who gets to have pressure, but neither one able to keep pressure as they turn over to the other end of the field.
A little bit of a screw up there also on attack for the Scorpions, leaves them open. What was Adrift doing there? Were they trying to play off each other?
I think he was trying to tap it back to his teammate, but he just didn't have enough time. He didn't have the space. He didn't want to throw off his own team. It's really hard to make those split decisions in the last second there, but
I mean, there was no one from the Scorpions challenging them.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you had someone rotating back maybe in a few seconds, but oh, that was so wide open. They try to find a redemption. Okay.
4 players up for
It's
that
not,
one
it's not
shot.
often that not only do you see 4 players going for the ball, they all jump at the same time. That was perfectly coordinated out of a Busby Berkeley musical.
Oh, that was not what you're looking for. Potato needs to find a way out. He does. Adrift is able to keep pressure, however. Oh, demos all over the place. This has been a very physical game so far. Lots of bumps and demos in just this first 2 minutes. Potato gets the pass off the backboard. Definitely has to work for it. Gababy, pass towards the wall. It does spill out mid. Nano has the touch, pops it up to himself. He needs another touch. Someone's going to be in the way. No one is in the way, and the flipper set goes awry, so no one gets a goal regardless. Thrift has some time, but does not have any time thanks to the backdooring Potato there. And now, Potato looks for a play of his own, flicks it over one. Drift towards the wall. The drift is up. The pass out from Nano, but no one is there, so Wilds will just bang it out, and Gababy has to reset.
Adrift is looking for his next play. As Thrift moves in. The ball has way too much altitude, though, so it heads way back toward midfield. Adrift looking to pass to Wilds there. It doesn't quite go through. With just 2 minutes left, we're still at a scoreless tie. The Lynx, again, the team that has the lead in shots on goal. But is it just them overextending themselves to where the Scorpions are laying in wait for the perfect precision opportunity to try to score? Ball kind of dies in midfield there. A bump from the back is going to send the ball a little bit closer toward the Lynx goal. But overall, it's still a lot of fighting in mid. And we have a Rule 1 that's also broken out here. Although that might have broken it up, I think. No, they're still going to go for it.
Leave it to Gababy to be always the one willing to stick to those Rule 1s, but might not be the right place to do it right in front of your own net. There's an opportunity here, but Nano barely gets in the way. Who knows where Lynx offense was. Wilds Goes for it off the wall. We're still in a 2v2. Again, there's not a lot of defense for the teams. There's not a lot of safety. So when you commit 2 players to these offensive plays, you're running quite the risk. You have to play it slow. They have to look for these solo plays. Get past one. Wilds is looking for that solo play. Cuts past the second. Is blocked. It's rolling towards the blue end of the net. Wilds rotating back for the back post as Adrift takes the ball up on his own. Solo plays it off to the corner. Wilds with a shot. It's really long. It's unable to find the back of the net. Oh my goodness, the midfield shot almost found us. His first goal of this game. Close game, only a minute left on the clock. We could see this run extend maybe all the way towards an overtime. Wilds looking for the pressure. Off the backboard, gets the double tap, but it misses completely. Very wide. Rotato touches it off the ball. He can pass mid, or he can wait and slow play. It looks like he's going to go for a slow play as Nano retreats back. That communication playing dividends. Now Nano has his turn off the ball.
And just with half a minute left, you have to wonder who might be looking for the buzzer beater here. The Vipers are in a slightly better field position to get it, but now with one last minute play by the Lynx, it's going to get denied by Nano. Still Adrift Fleming in the front corner. A demo out onto midfield might clear things up here. Adrift playing around Adrift.
That's
the game.
Wilds. That's it. The buzzer beater. The Scorpions
That
on the 2v2
was-
buzzer beater.
Oh my goodness, what acrobatics, what play, and what back-to-back championships there. Even though the Lynx have forever sullied your record with that one that stays up there on the scoreboard, they are still back-to-back champions, and that is a great accomplishment nonetheless. So congratulations to the Scorpions for winning that. Well, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. And now's the time where we kind of give our recommendations for the ICCU player of the game. Anyone standing out in your mind?
I feel like every time I come to watch Esports Towers, I put this guy on at least my top 3. But I honestly have to stick with just him today, Baby. He shows up every day. He's on the pitch. Super exciting player to watch. I feel like he's got to be one of the better players in Esports Tower, but he's definitely got that strong hold with his team. Those 3 players have played together so long. All 3 of them are contenders for our ICCU player of the game, but I got to give it to him. His offense was on point today.
Well, let's just see what the final decision is here from our production. It is going to be... Sometimes we're led astray by who's on. Yeah, it wasn't Zydra. Sometimes we're led astray by the initial tag that's on the screen, but it is, in fact, Gababy, the player of the game. Just the person really making it happen for the Scorpions. And player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Gababy is your play of the game, and it's really telling that that a lot of these plays are coming from their initial fight against the Vipers, because what a stomp this round was.
Yeah, and even though we've talked and joked a little bit about their solid record and their an invincible series kind of gone awry, you have to hand it to them. If teams are looking for one win on this team, this is a scary team. This is a next level team.
And the question is,
what
do they do next week? Do they get the championship trifecta?
I mean, at that point,
You're just going to have to tune in next week to find out. But for this week, we'll leave you the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. That's going to do it for tonight. Congratulations to Scorpions. Enjoy the top 5 plays. Not only did they win the tournament last week, but in this week they're outperforming their victory last week by not dropping a single game in the group stage. And even now, just in this game, only allowing 1 goal through for the Vipers as they almost drive it to 4-0. They are relentless right now in their pursuit, and another scored by Protein.
Into the goal, they were disrupted by one of the Lynx defenders. A little bit slower action here happening. Not as many 2-car pileups immediately. Cran in the corner is going to try and go for the center reset to a teammate, but instead it's going to end up with Wild. Passes the ball forward, trying to get it to a drip. thwarted. Now Gwen goes for the shot, and it's nobody's home. That's goal number 1 for the Barracudas.
The Barracudas still looking like a scary roster, but the Lynx have their path, have their kind of rep. So they're definitely not out of this yet. Wild with a shot that will get blocked by Krantz, so he gets to play it back himself. Looks for the bag past one. Oh, they're tangled up on each other, going for boost on the side, and Wilds and Thrift will end the teammate trying to get out of the play. Oh, disaster to say the least. They don't have enough time to make these kinds of mistakes. They need to take a deep breath, and they need to do it now. The time is not in their favor. They could be forcing a game 4 if they don't fix it.
A breakaway shot, though, toward the goal.
Oh.
It's going to find it with just 11 seconds left.
Gets the clear out from the corner, looks for the second tap. Rotato has to rotate back, waits for Baby's touch, passes it down, and now we will be heading into what I believe is the first overtime of the day. With a 1-1 scoreline, not what you'd expect after seeing the first 2 games of this series, both of them won by a 4-goal lead by the Scorpions. Oh my goodness, that has got to be one of the